So the primary question that we're answering on this call is how to double in terms of financial progress, but also on the spiritual, emotional side of things as well. Someone's got their mic open there. I'm just going to see if I can find it. So this is the goal here, is to have an interactive discussion around what it's going to take. If you're able to use your camera, more than welcome. I was just trying to trim my beard and it didn't go so well, so hence the dropped a few bit of time off the face, but yeah, well, it'll be back. So we've had some amazing reviews drop in from last season, seeing the results and the changes that people have had within season 3 is super encouraging for where we're going as a group and where we can get to. What's going to take to double again? It's mostly the question and the decision. What would it take to? The questions that you ask yourself are directly going to influence the response that comes from it. So sitting with the question of what would it take to double in the next quarter is a big part of that process. Knowing what you're doing at the moment is also part of that process. So what happened for you in the period of July, August, September, business-wise, but what also happened personally. Be good to start with that, some reflections on what you built and what came out of that. Like, it's all a guess, it's all a hypothesis. You think that it's going to work, but you have to test things in the market. You have to test things as a way of living. If you're in the pro game, you have seen that we launched about 10 new products in the last 3 months. The Discipline Action Brotherhood, Quadrivium, Trivium. We launched the Future Expander in the last 3 months as well, the 10K app. And so all of these are bets that this will enhance the experience of the lives of the men that we're working with. And the goal is to continue to look at what we're doing and add value there. So yeah, I would love to hear as far as and I'll check in also, so that was product development side of things. Big progress in the last 3 months. As far as the financial side and doubling, it wasn't a double for Uncommon Success in the last 3 months. The focus has been much more on product development, and we needed to make some changes in it to be able to grow towards the goal of 1,000 highly engaged, high quality players in this game of Uncommon Success, the professional game. So this is the position that we start the 4th season of the year in. And it's a good position to be in because we have all these new things that we just built over the last 3 months to be able to feel really confident. There's lead products there, and there's a lot more value within the offer. So that's the position that we're in, and it's a really good one to be able to make big moves in the next 3 months. I would like to hear from you summary of what happened in the last 3 months on the business side of things, and then also what you're looking forward to. Your hypothesis, your guess of what it will take to double again in the next 3. Pete, you've been tuned in for all that. We had a few cameras jumping in and off. Love to hear from you.
Yeah, so business-wise, I started sort of testing my product. So going with like a 6-week basketball program. Got a few lads doing that. They didn't pay anything, so the adherence hasn't been the best, but getting some good feedback off the lads that are actually going through that. I started also working with like an agency to help with the online side of things, getting a sales funnel set up, working like sort of online and that sort of thing. So that's started in the last couple of weeks. So that's been super helpful, sort of giving me the step-by-step path to get there. So I feel like I need my hand holding a little bit through the business side a little bit. So yeah, felt that would be valuable for me. But
Did you consult with anyone before you did that, or how did that come about?
Well, it's been something that I've been sort of like thinking about for a while. And yeah, just thought it'd be good for me.
Yeah. I just know lots of guys that buy someone to do their funnel for them and they regret it because it doesn't matter that much what the funnel is a lot of the time. There's usually things that underpin that, but yeah, Luke, I would have put you onto Luke Carter if you'd have reached out about it. He spent 10 grand on a funnel that netted $0 and took a lot of his attention. Hopefully he didn't spend 10 grand, and hopefully yours is way better. Like it definitely can work, but it's often not the answer. I hope it is for you.
Yeah, it's not just the like I'm not like I'm building the funnel myself in a sense. They've got the sort of path laid out for me. Working with like a coach 1-to-1 as well.
Yeah.
So
yeah, as was done for you, but yeah, it's like looking out through a straw of what it takes to have a successful business. To think that the funnel is going to move the needle, but yeah, they're all experiences, and that's the game that we're in, is to get experiences and to evaluate those experiences. And I would love for your story to be like that. It nets you way more than you spend on it. That's obviously the goal. So, but I would suggest, for yourself and for anyone who's listening in here, like before you make big buying decisions, consider speaking to others in the network and just asking, hey, who's done this? How was your experience of it? You can ask me, but you can ask others as well. There's lots of good courses out there, and there's lots of great things to invest in. I don't discourage people from doing other stuff outside of Uncom. It's just some of them are much less likely to be successful and much more likely to be a waste of money than others. Speak to lots of guys who've done drop shipping or learn how to trade Forex, and it's like, cool, but like at least talk to someone who's good at that game first. So that you at least understand what you're doing and what you're getting yourself into, rather than just, sort of impulse buying something that is very, very unlikely to be successful. Again, it's not specific to your situation, but just general, something to put out there. Cool. So the goal for this quarter is to get some paid clients, since you've had some free ones that you're testing your idea there. You've had paid clients in personal training before, but they were in person. And so the challenge is to transition. My suggestion, if we were working together on this, would be that they think about how to go more hybrid with it, because you've already sold people on face-to-face in the past. So how do you go, how do you, it's going to be a lot easier to sell someone who's within 100 miles of you, that you're going to see them face to face once or twice, and then it's much more similar to what you've already done. And if they don't perceive any value in it, like sell them something similar to what you've sold in the past with a basketball slant on it. But if the value is not there, then it's about tweaking the offer and tweaking the way that you're presenting it. More than likely, like almost always, it's better to, especially for those who've had experience with face-to-face, is like go more hybrid in the transition to online. Is a general thing that's more likely to be successful. But also Liam Howe has done really well in the last, like his Q3 review was super strong. He's in the UK and he's getting clients online. Having a call with him would be smart as well, to just speak with him about what's working for him. He's doing really good reels. He's having conversations with people on IG, and he's bringing clients on through that. He's focused more on football, which is good as well, because it's like similar in that sense that it's sport focused.
Yeah. Cool.
Dylan, Chris,
I was about to go.
that's the one.
Yeah, so last 3 months, July, August, I was kind of making around $1,000-ish, but I wasn't as super focused on my business as I should be. And then this month rolled around and I decided to quit my part-time job and go all in. And I exceeded $3,000 from my business, and that's enough to, well above, keep my head above water. and I had a call with Michael James about how to expand and scale up to how much money I can make from my physical therapy practice and massage therapy practice, possibly doing either a 1-year package deal and then also potentially do a subscription deal. And he basically gave me advice, instead of me trying to worry so much about also expanding out to like an online business, do really well with the physical business. And then for like the next 3-6 months, see how well I can do with that. And then with that experience, if I want to later on do business coaching for other massage therapists, I'll have the reputation and the experience to be able to do so, and hopefully expand out to an online coaching business as well.
Yeah. What are the profile of the people who've taken you up on your service recently? Like, who are they, and what's the biggest motivation for connecting with you?
So I'm working at a retirement community. So it's exclusive with just them. So it's older people like 55 to even like in the 70s. Main motivation is to get out of pain. So I'm using a lot of massage therapy to help them feel better, and then using ATG, like really basic ATG principles, to start getting their hips in better places, knees in better places. So they're very motivated to stop being so much pain, not get surgeries, not have to take so many pain medication.
Yeah. Very cool. And so the goal is to find more people with those similar challenges. And you're generally doing like, what are they committing to with you at the moment? What are you selling them? Exactly.
So some of them are still just committing to like kind of once a week, either massage or personal training. And I'm okay with that because they are spreading good word about me. I am wanting to build up enough clientele that I can just pick the really solid people who are going to see me at least once a week. So I have been doing the like small package deals for like 4 massages. And then I did sell a 10-pack of personal training. So I was able to, seeing one of my clients twice a week for personal training.
Yeah. Yeah. Cool. What do you think's made the biggest difference in terms of getting that momentum now, like you've been working on for a little while?
For me, it was just like, it's time to just fully focus on it. I was always kind of like staying in that comfort zone with the spa job because they would find clients for me, but I just knew like, I'm not getting the full value out of my clients. And I just was like doing my main job. And then when it would come around to the time I was supposed to do my business, I was putting some energy into it, but I'm like, I need to be here a lot more consistently. And so that's why I decided just to quit and go for it. And so, yeah, it's just a lot more focus, doing the future expander, kept it a lot more in my mind. Like, okay, how do I make more money today? And also reading $100 million leads and utilizing that, getting challenged by Endabongo and Stephen Cox to report back to how I was doing with that, and reach the one thing, which was 3K this month. And I just literally started asking for more referrals. That was that was part of it. I didn't even have to do anything too complicated. Just the good clients I had, it's a community, so they know each other. And I was like, hey, do you know anyone else who could use this? Do you know, like I can help them out? And yeah, it started working really well. And so in just a month, I've already been stopped by a few people, me just walking to and from my car. They're like, hey, your reputation's really building up. I need to see you. So yeah, it's just been really strong word of mouth. And it feels really good finally using a lot of the ATG stuff I've been learning for the last 2 years and seeing the results. And it's very encouraging.
Yeah. It's super exciting. I know you've been working hard for a long time in the background, getting yourself going. But like, it feels like a long time, but then I think we spoke about it before, like if you do a university degree, like you're really not expecting any ROI in the first 3 to 5 years.
Exactly.
So it's not too long in the big scheme of things. And it's cool that you're already thinking about how you can help others to be able to do something similar.
Mm-hmm.
So zooming out, like we kind of just jump straight into individual case studies and chatting one-to-one, and I do want to do more of that. But thinking about the process, what is it going to take to double? And you can hear from Dylan there that thing of I just woke up each day, thought about, what would it take to get myself to the next level? And to be asking yourself that question, what brings more money into my business? If you're asking yourself that each day, you're probably going to do the work. You're probably going to be, come up with more solutions and take the actions each day. The plan here for these next 3 months is that for those who want to, those who are ready to kind of level up in this next 3 months, we check in every 5 days on what did you just do or what are you doing next? And then we commit the time that we're going to use in the Discipline Action Brotherhood. So it becomes very, very likely that you're going to have output. You're going to have hypothesis. You're going to have chips on the board. You're going to have skin in the game where things can change. And if you say, look, but in 5 days from now, I'm going to have my sales funnel live, or I'm going to have an email sequence that someone gets when they opt in by email, and you say you're going to do that in the next 5 days, and you put that forward to the group, chances are you're going to get it done. Or it's going to take 6 days, or it's going to take 3 or 4. Like, there is no one way of sort of doing this, but like that is a thing that I think is going to move us forward further. Like, we've been playing this Uncom 25 now for over a year, and it's powerful in 25 days. But to have that individual accountability of, this is what I said I'm going to do. I'm going to read everyone's what happened in the last 5 days, what's happening in the next 5 days. And chances are a lot of other guys who you respect and know are also going to be doing the same. It's going to move the needle further forward faster than what it has in the past. So we've been doing this system with the staff, and it's actually taken a lot of stress off the staff, like guys on the Uncom team, because they know exactly what they've committed to and what needs to be done. And we generally budget about half of their time towards those things. So it's not like everything that you're going to do has to be written down. It's like, the one thing that moves the needle forward is this, and I'm going to get it done in the next 5 days, if that makes sense. And so, yeah, that's a lot of 5-day blocks when you look at it over from now till Christmas. And if the focus is like, I want to be doing twice as well as I am now, if you get halfway, still probably better than most. If you get 4 times as far, that happens as well sometimes. Depends on where your starting position is, right? And so, yeah, this is the plan. Like, and I'd like to hear some more details around this, and we can share some more details of, when is this work going to be done, and what things come to mind as like starting points here. If that double plan is the plan. And some of you might set higher targets based on if you're just launching and just getting started, or if you don't have income in the area that you're looking to build income. But yeah, what does that look like for you? What's coming to mind directly of like, this is how I could double? What creative expression is coming to you? Things that you already know that you want to do. What are you thinking there, Ben? I know you've gone through quite a lot of transition like this year in business already. Like, what does this look like for you?
Yeah, good question, mate. Honestly, doing my dense course and actually getting that in place, and actually just filming the core 4 lifts and just getting that out there, that's been on my mind for a while. But the priority is MAP and the importation of that into Australia. So that's been, just moving along quite slowly, but purposely or purposefully. It's just there's some roadblocks and some challenges with importing a new product to Australia. So that's my driving force, really. Yeah, that's the priority.
Yep. So maybe you can share with the guys. There's no Australians on here because of the time, but I don't think if they're in the background there in the text. Have a look. But what maybe you can share a little bit of what you mean with MAP, and then like what's going to happen after that next hurdle's jumped. Like, there's still going to be more to do. Like, what are the big next steps?
Yeah, well, right now it's basically MAP, just to fill the guys in, as a product I've been taking for the last 10 years. It was introduced to me by my original coach, James Fitzgerald, who was the 2007 CrossFit Games champion. And he said, Ben, take this before competitions. It's going to help you with exercise performance and recovery. So, little did I know I'd be taking it for every day for the last 10 or 12 years. And I've had the opportunity to import the product to Australia and potentially Europe. It's already here in the United States, sold on Amazon for $25. The big thing about the product that excites me is that Ben Greenfield, I'm sure you guys know him, he was one of the distributors of MAP 7 years ago. And when MAP's patent stopped or ended 7 years ago, he left MAP distributing for them and started Keon. What I've looked at in research is that basically when a patent ends, first of all, there's been 46 clinical studies done on the brand. And when a patent ends, other amino companies can just use the studies that were done on the product and just claim it as their own. And yeah, a lot of the other products on the market are getting all their products from China, whereas MAP is made in the States. So it's exciting to bring that out. I think that a lot of the people in the market don't know that. So that's my challenge marketing wise. Secondly, and there's just a lot of hurdles that are coming in my face with the distribution. My brother-in-law's in Australia, and it's just setting up a business and getting through the Therapeutic Goods Association, or finding out if it's a food or a medicine. So we're just juggling that at the moment. Honestly, when I started this path, I know I spoke to you, Keegs, a couple of years ago about taking it on. But this year it's really kind of manifested, and I'm keen to do it. So, but there's lots of challenges in my path. But looking to meet them head on and import the brand.
Yep.
That was a lot there. Hopefully it's okay. You guys didn't get lost.
Yeah, so you can't really know yet exactly where that's going to land over the next few months, but you have your face-to-face clients, and you're building your dense sort of brand and program along the way as well.
Yeah, dance is going great, and in my hometown here, again, I didn't really think I'd be doing this hybrid model, but I've pivoted from. I mean, the last year has had so many different changes for me, and it's just something that stuck with me last year when I did close my gym, and that every problem is an opportunity to grow. So I've looked at roadblocks and challenges in my day to day as okay, this is an opportunity to learn and grow. So yeah, had multiple changes. Now I'm doing a hybrid model where I'm actually still coaching classes at the gym, CrossFit classes. So I've got a connection with my clients here or new clients in my hometown in South Carolina. And I've just pivoted to from a fit over 40 formula to pretty much training dense exclusively. I'm programming for the gym I'm in dense. So they're loving that as well. So I'm getting some really great results there. But I've got 5 men that I'm working with in person and training with them. So not doing personal training, I'm actually training alongside them, and I've got phenomenal results with them. They've done the lean countdown diet with me. I just finished today. I just took some pictures this morning, so I'm really excited about that. Got 2 new clients this month, so it's all rolling along very, very well on that regard. So I pretty much spend a lot of my time in the morning coaching in person, training myself, coaching my clients, and then working on MAP in the afternoon in my online business. So this is, I'd imagine with all that you've been through over the last few years, this probably feels like a holiday and a bit of a dream compared to some of the challenges that you've had with running a gym, and then with you were going full on with the online with a premium model. And now it's like I coach a few guys. It's good premium clients. They like me, and I've set it up. You've set up to train with them and stuff. Like this lifestyle business that you've built, I think there's almost a business in that, Ben, of just being able to, hey, it doesn't have to be that stressful. If you're actually a good coach
And like there's a whole better way that's not stressful to program, not stressful to to coach, doesn't take all your day up, doesn't require tons of time on your computer. Like that's pretty much where you've got to with your coaching business. I think that's really inspirational in itself, and something that other players should reach out about and consider. Tweaking the way you're doing things. And I don't know if you want to share anything about that.
Yeah, I do, mate. It's just, and I want to thank you for it. Honestly, it's been like programming it's just too complex. And it's like when you just dumb it down, for me, all I've done is focused on, I call it the core four, the bench press, back squat, bench press, deadlifting or power cleaning, depending on the client, some skill level, and strict press. And with a fifth day of stamina or rest, and you introduced me to this beautiful 25-day model. So I actually run my programming over a 25-day model with a 5 to 6 day recovery, and I call it train, play, recover. So intensive, reps 1 to 3, days 1 through 10, and then days 11 through 20 is volume, with some testing and some, challenging the guys and myself, days 21 through 25, and then having a rest and recovery through days 26 through 30. And then we hit back and do it again on the first. And I've actually got my, programming for the next month just beside me. And it's just a cool way to program, and for the gym as well. It just keeps it really simple. And I talk about just getting stronger and feeling good, feeling vibrant. And the sessions are so short. Like my personal training now, when I do personal training, it's no longer hour sessions. Like I'm training with my clients 30 to 45 minutes, so I can get more clients in the morning now, getting more money and cycling them through. And they leave happy and healthy and hungry for more, So it's just I love it. It's a perfect way for me to for my clients and me to stay focused within that month period. And again, it just comes back to the principles that you've taught and laid out for us. It's money. It really is. And I'm loving what I'm doing right now. So it's having a barbecue this afternoon at the boys' place. Been invited over. There's 5, the whole family's coming over. So my wife's going over. I'm in a great small town, and it's the way it should be, So I'm really happy right now, mate.
Living the American dream. It's,
in South Carolina, sunshine, barefoot.
That's a variation. Like Ben's made his own variation on the daily dents. For those who are listening and thinking about this, and Pete, there's probably elements of this that you can think about applying as well, even if it was just on a Saturday or a Sunday, And then if you had that, I'm not sure exactly how your schedule falls, but even for those guys who have full-time jobs still, like this kind of business model could actually fit around a full-time job where you do 1 or 2 afternoons, or you have a weekend session. And then it's really simple for them to do the same session at the gym, or, to be able to program out and set up a business around this. There's more than one, there's lots of ways to do this, but I think you're presenting something really powerful there, Ben, and it's clear to see the joy that's coming out with where you're at now versus some of the other positions that you've been in. But that's for everyone to decide. Some of the other guys love having a gym, or, it's just different stages and different goals.
Yeah. I just want to finish that off, mate, if I could. Like I owned a gym in Connecticut for 13 years, CrossFit gym. That was my life for 13. But moving down here, moving down here and just moving on from that, what was a massive move. But the biggest challenge, and I thought I'd go online full time and make that like my bread and butter. But the challenges are when you leave your hometown, when you've created trust with the community, and I had my online business starting there at my town that I was living in for such a long time. So sales were easy. Everything was easy, right? So then when you move out of that and then you go online, and like it's very challenging. So I'm still doing some online, and I'm looking to build that up, and I've still got 20 clients from my hometown. But it's just some challenges that happen definitely when you move out and do things online. And it's a long-term play, creating trust with new clients. Now, sales aren't very easy. It's definitely you have to build trust.
Yeah. I did have that feeling with the system that you jumped into, as well. Like I sort of talking with Pete there about like making big decisions. I know yours was a big financial decision, and you did make a ton of money back.
Yeah.
But I had that feeling that maybe it wasn't going to work in the longer term the same way it worked in the shorter term. And it could have worked in the longer term, but it's a different skill set, as you say. Like it becomes more about IG and social media, and then sales calls, where the initial boom in your business was built on the back of 13 years of hard work, building trust. So, it's good to think deeply and get some other opinions when you're making those decisions. It's all learning, but
Sure.
it can be costly. It can be a lot of time and effort. Thanks for sharing there, Ben. Keen to hear from more men on the current position and the double. But before we jump into the next one, thinking about like the concept that how does this serve? If you're coming at a place from a place of service, I know that Ben knows when he teaches this method to these guys, one, they're going to get massive results fast. Two, they're going to have skills for life. When you feel like that about your product, it's a lot easier to make that move and to get out of bed each day excited for what you're doing with your business. Coming back to the thing of this is a business that serves, this solves a problem. We got Cam on the call here as well. Cam's got a great new physical product that he's developing, and it solves a huge problem for a lot of parents and families, a huge frustration, big cost. When you're solving something, if you're excited about the solution, then you're doing the work that you're meant to be doing. And that energy that comes from that makes this process so much more rewarding. Matthew Tam is on here as well. He shared his story recently of, Matthew Tam was posting a lot of ATG style content, and he was doing really well with it. It was really kind of funny and quirky, and lots of people telling me about how cool his content was. And then Matthew pivoted into making his own soaps and personal hygiene products at super high quality. And now he's just shared how he's selling out, can't keep up with demand. And it goes from taking action and just doing something that you believe in, but then moving towards, okay, this is a bigger solution that I believe in. And he probably got some pushback or some internal and external resistance about changing from being the ATG style guy that was doing funny stuff around training to to the personal hygiene stuff. But if we continue to work on what is the best solution that I love to deliver, we get to a great place. And Ben's just given a great example of that. Matthew, just put your camera on since I'm sharing to you there. It'd be cool if you want to share a bit, and then we'll jump to Cam, who I know is making some big gains with his world first product as well. Hit the that's done yet. Here we go. I think we're good. How are you, Matthew?
Oh, okay. I can hear you. Sorry, I missed what you said.
I was talking about how you kind of you built that personal brand around some like really unique style of delivering the ATG stuff, right? Like with your own flair and personality, you're delivering kind of funny, engaging content about training, and then you got momentum with that, and then pivoted to like I can serve even more authentically with like the direction that you've gone now with the brand of like super clean personal hygiene. I'd love to, like, if you want to share a bit about like that move to sort of the best solution that you could imagine delivering, even though you were doing well with what you're doing, right? But then you had the courage to test yourself with something else. I think that's exactly like Ben just shared that in his own way, and I'd love to hear like your experience with that.
Yeah. So with so ATG really was the thing that was the catalyst to making life-changing decisions. Because beforehand I was bouncing around in odd jobs. I was a massage therapist when I discovered ATG, but that was kind of what I pictured as my ceiling. So as I improved my body, I changed my way of training. I changed my diet. I changed the way I spend my time, what I pay attention to. Um, it drove me to, after the expo in last year, I quit my job in order to just provide more value to ATG. ATG at the time was something that I was really passionate about, and it fed me, it fulfilled me. So I just wanted to keep sharing that with people. So I went to make content, trying to break it down. I mean, ATG is already kind of simple. Ben has made it really simple to understand, but I needed to go even further. And a good way to get people to understand some concepts is using some humor. And I just let it kind of, it took a bit of a couple of reels to get comfortable, just revealing my personality. And yeah, it was successful. When I was dropping content for a good like 10 months, ATG related content. Then as ATG and the people like yourself and other people in the space kind of opened me up to other things just about business and life, I just kind of discovered that I just have other passions and pursuits as well. I'm not limited to personal training and ATG.
Primary question answering.
Hello?
Yeah,
What'd you say?
sorry. I wanted to. I sent it. I'll tell you what I did. I sent a screenshot to Adam Commons. You probably don't know him, but he's the Belgian head of performance in Belgian hockey, and he loved your content, man. He would like. I would talk to him quite a bit about all sorts of stuff, psychology and NFTs and all sorts. And he always wanted to like mention like, oh, did you see his latest thing? And so I just sent him a screenshot that we were talking together, and then I bumped the other window that goes to the YouTube. But yeah,
that's awesome.
Yeah, you have got that like it's like really iconic, you know, like it's your way of doing things and presenting yourself, and yeah.
So I think that's how I was able to build. I mean, I got up to 27,000 followers, I think, at some point, and I mean, it's not like a lot of people have, you know, over 100K, but I think the 25, the small, you know, relatively speaking audience I have, they're very like, they're fans of me. I'm not trying to say that in a cocky way. It's just when I would like host like Zoom one-on-one calls for free. When they'd hop on, they'd be really excited to speak with me. The messages I would get saying how I've just changed the way people think and view things. Like it's like with just revealing my personality and doing things my way, being true to myself, it people see that, they know like it's something internal.
Yeah.
So yeah, with the soap company, the business, it was just I wanted to monetize, and I was working with a CRM company that we're going to, you know, build my website, have an app where I can train people, and I just kind of did that out of since I had quit my job and had no income. I did that in order to make some money, but it ended up just draining me of any passion for personal training that I had. So I needed another way to monetize and make money, and that's when I just Googled a recipe for making soap online, and now we were cooking up on a pot in a stove, me and my fiance, and now we've got a whole garage just dedicated for packaging. We're working on it now. Inside the 2 spare rooms, we make soap. Just got a 500. So I went from, you know, a 16-ounce coconut oil jar in order to make a batch of soap to now a 500-pound drum here. So that's been in about a year. So it's awesome. Like again, it's just making a product that's true and honest and that works for people. And they've, you know, just come to support me now. Now with the past 3 months, it's been incredible growth because we've now begun to work with other people. Up to this point, it's just been me and my fiance running everything. So now we've brought on someone to run advertisement. Had to tell him to like, hey, calm down. We can't manage. We're going to run out of inventory. So that's the main problem within the next 3 months, is figuring out solutions to make more products at a much higher volume.
Which is a good problem to have, because it means you're just serving more people. And it's, so where are you going to go with this? Like, when you do solve the volume problem and you do sell a bunch more, like, it must be opening some thoughts around. I know we spoke about Nicaragua, and we've spoken about different things over the time. Like, what do you think about, like, where you want to go with this and what you'll do with the success and the opportunity that brings?
So this is my first business, and I'm having a lot of fun. I like the coming up with solutions to problems. I like the spontaneity. It's a spontaneous kind of venture, like, cause especially at the point we're in, it's kind of I have to take it week by week, month by month. Like, well, what do I have to figure out? So it's lit up like this entrepreneurial spirit in me that I for sure want to continue to nourish and see see what I can build. I think it being my first company, and it's something that really means a lot to me. I do want to see this grow into a like 8-figure business. And as I was looking up for some solutions to how I can ramp up production, I think another route that I can take, this is probably on the more like 10 to 15 year kind of range, is making private label products for other companies. So this would be a giant production thing, because nobody in my side of the country in Florida is making private label soaps and skincare with the ingredients that I kind of use, where I'm like, the ingredient, I make sure to source the highest quality stuff. I haven't cut corners in regards to that. So if I can just with time supply other people with the same quality, that's another big kind of a thing to reach for. But e-com, I really enjoy it a lot. I have like 2 others ideas that I would love to get to once I feel like I can step away from this a bit. But as for personal training, I'm not sure, I really it was enjoyable and fulfilling. It's just I feel like I'm too busy now I can't really think about it. But I like being the entrepreneur kind of type. I enjoy it a lot. So
when did you last question when did you realize that the entrepreneurial thing was something you really liked? Like, were you aware of this during high school or as a younger man?
No, not at all. It was this year. For sure, seeing the little e-com cash dings in the morning, or the notification that like it would trigger a dopamine hit, like a smoke or whatever. And then as before it would be like a $20 thing that would excite me, and now I view those and it's like, oh, okay, well, like it's the $100 ones that excite me now. Yeah. So I think that it's primitively speaking, I think the entrepreneur, the business type is kind of ingrained in all men, because that was the business back then, was to go out and look for food, to hunt and to get it and risk it. And I think every man just has that ingrained in them. And I didn't know, it wasn't in me at all until I just kind of tried it out.
Yeah. I love that, man. I think that you're nailing something that's really, really important. I'm going to share a little thought on that. Like, I've been thinking a lot about what is ingrained in us, and I'd love any of you to test this idea or share your thoughts. Maybe resources around it. But what's recently made more sense to me is that historically, if you didn't have strong brothers, cousins, clan, village, then you knew you were at risk, because the local village or the guys from further away were probably going to come at some stage and wipe out all the men. Like that, historically, that's the way it went down, regardless of race, regardless of culture. Like, that has been the way things work from my understanding of history. Like that has been a situation. And so I had this feeling, and I've been having this recurring idea that you inherently feel like wrong, like something's missing if you don't have other strong men around you who are like, if someone comes after me, there's other people who care about that. Because if you were a lone wolf or a lone man in the past, like it's really the threat that all the brothers, cousins, and clan are going to declare war and going to come back for revenge that would have protected a man in the past. And I have that feeling that it's like an innate thing that if I'm not connected to strong men who are doing cool stuff, who are challenging me, who are solving problems, who have resources, then it's like it's an innate, deep thing that, okay, something's missing. And maybe the entrepreneurial piece is that as well, of like, we just need to figure out how to acquire some more land and some more cattle, because otherwise how are our children going to survive, or our children's children, if we're able to grow our clan? It's like wired in so deep that we don't know, but we just know something's missing if it's not there. Almost like the nature stuff as well, of animals in captivity and getting out in the sunshine and feet on the grass and those kinds of things. Like on a behavioral level or a social level, I think there's stuff there that we don't really have conscious awareness of, but then once we do it, it's like it's just better. Life is better. Has anyone, what are your thoughts on this? Has anyone reflected on these kind of behavioral elements of, it's almost like evolutionary psychology?
Well, the past week I've just felt very kind of like I was drowning in work because I needed more help here. So I it's a lot of workload to manage initially, but I know I just have to get better with it. I know that part is going to be figured out eventually, but it's just I felt like seeing these figures I've never seen in my life. I just felt like I was kind of just with no guidance or with nobody else to kind of share the load with. So that's why I like this week I reached out to Andres. He told me, I mean I forget that I'm in these chats too. And that's why I also reached out to the chats. And it's just I know there's a lot of people that go through the same thing. We're all it's digital. We're all in different places, but we all have seems like a business goals and entrepreneurial goals. And it's really good to feel that I'm not in this alone. That we've all faced this. We've all faced the same problems and different problems, and we're all able to just unite and figure it out together. So that's my take on it.
Yeah. I'm sure Cam would be keen to have a conversation as well. I'm not sure if you're still there, Cam, to share about your product. Maybe you can jump in later. There you go.
Yeah, I'm here.
Cam's been connected with some of the other ecom crew. He's just recently joined Uncommon Success. He's been having those conversations as well.
Yeah. No, it's been a great ride so far. I'm very grateful. I've finally took the plunge and joined in. I've been talking to you for some time, Keegan, and so far it's great. The biggest takeaway for me is that it's just seeing other people do it. Like you said, the more we're around like-minded men, you see that they've done it. You see people are doing it and they're moving towards the same things you are moving towards, and it's possible, right? It's possible talking to these folks, and you really get to create your own destiny, your own life. And like you said, I think it's natural to want to belong. And I've always felt like an outsider. Like, you look around the normal world, the normal life, it's just not for me, right? And I do things very differently with my life, the way we train, the way we eat, the way we attack our life with business. So it's good to be with like-minded brothers. But as of recently, it's different for me. I have a 9-to-5 job, and I was an entrepreneur before. I'm in my 40s, but now I'm getting back in the game again, and it's exciting. We got this great product, my wife and I, and we've spent 2 years in product development. It's been a grind, but we're getting ready to launch. Finally, got so many irons in the fire. We're doing the website. I'm working on a marketing plan with Google Ads and whatnot. I just auditioned for a TV show to get our product on TV. So I got a lot of good things going on, and it's very exciting.
Can you share what the product, or you're still keeping
Yeah.
under?
No, absolutely. So the company is called Tot Squat, and it's a product for children when they're learning how to go to the bathroom. You know, humans by nature squat to go to the bathroom, but we force them to sit. But the crazy thing is children just know to squat. So my hypothesis is that you can literally skip potty training if you let them squat. And every parent I talk to is the same thing, you know. Oh, I see my kid squat. Well, it's okay. You see your kid squat. Why are you making them sit, you know? So we, like I said, we're getting ready to launch, but we've had, you know, a lot of the early adopters reaching out over social media. So we actually literally just started selling like a couple of weeks ago, and it's very exciting. We've got sales coming in from all over the world, Australia, Canada, US, got a lot more interest in Israel, just very exciting, right? And you know, these are the early adopters. They get it, right? They see their kid do something, and you know, I asked them, I said, how did you find us? And they're, you know, putting in keywords on Google, trying to find, you know, a potty that lets their kids sit. So you know, all this is very encouraging. You know,
Yeah.
it's awesome.
Yeah, it's amazing. It's a phenomenal idea. Most of you, I would imagine, men on here would be familiar with the idea of like squat stools, and you know, having higher, you know, having your feet up higher when you go to the toilet, or the idea that people stand on the toilet seat, or other models of toilets, so that you can get a more optimal bowel position to empty your bowel more fully. And this is a huge issue. Like the vast majority of the population are literally full of shit because of constipation. Part of it is the position. It's not even a lie, but the connection here with Cam, the connection here with Cam and Matthew Tam. Like, see how there's a beautiful connection here. I mean, Chris has got a big background in Amazon as well, who I'm also looking at on the screen. But Matthew Tam's audience are 100% going to be interested in this type of a product, and it just makes more money for everybody to have these connections, and it all makes sense from an evolutionary perspective. Like the Cam's product makes sense from an evolutionary perspective, and so does Matthew Tam's. It's like, this is just the natural way. It's obviously closer to the truth to not put a bunch of chemicals into your body, or to use the position that a child would naturally go to the toilet in. It's funny, but there's millions to be made by simply observing nature and looking for truth and moving towards that. I mean,
you're exactly right.
Yeah, you go.
You're exactly right. No, it's funny you say that, because like I feel like a lot of times in business, it's just, you know, I was listening to this podcast the other day by Brian Chesky, the Airbnb founder. And, you know, Steve Jobs has said it in the past, right? Like, you can't connect the dots going forward, but looking back. But I think a lot of times in business and in life, it's just being still and observing what is true. And so many people just have the wool pulled over their eyes, and they're just sheep, you know, going off to slaughter. This is just obvious, right? But now we live in a world where like the obvious and what is true is not even like practiced and observed, you know, like it's just crazy. But if you pay attention, there's so much opportunity, you know, out there and around you, like what Matthew's doing and what I'm doing, you know. But I think it's obvious, right? Like, we saw our son squat, and we're like, why are we going to force him to sit? And so we searched all over. We even searched all over the world, and we couldn't find anything. So then we were like, oh, maybe we'll just make something. And, you know, here we are a couple of years later, about to launch a company. So very exciting.
It doesn't mean that it's easy, but these things exist. Where my mind goes to with Cam's solution is also, you know, what other problems are parents dealing with? So when you build this audience of parents, and I know Cam's got tons of ideas, but digital education and, you know, what what I've primarily worked in business wise, like it goes together with this. And for Matthew as well, like how do you increase the order value and increase the value? And for those who are around the world and can't necessarily, they're not going to ship the soap. I'd imagine that the soap isn't going to Australia for you, Matthew. But how do you give value to them as well? And like once you're thinking through this lens, it's just a question and a matter of time until one of your solutions works, or many of them do, and then it becomes a fun game. And so it's I really appreciate you sharing that, Cam, and like I'm super excited to see where it's going to go and where this audience of you're going to get really cool parents coming together around this. And there's a lot of young dads coming into our network as well. Pete's expected soon, I'd imagine. We're going to move into that phase. Like it's going to be really fun to bring these things together of the entrepreneurship and fatherhood.
Absolutely. And you hit the nail on the head, Keegan. Like there's so many opportunities. Like I already had a couple calls, like with some other brothers, like Nathan, who's doing the Love Your Guts. And he was like, when you launch, let's connect, because our audiences are very similar. And same thing with Matthew. There's a lot of similarities there. We're all like-minded brothers, and it's, I talk to everybody. I feel like I can learn something from everybody. And that's only going to help me, get there faster. So this is a great thing you put together. I'm really happy to be a part of this.
I'm glad that you're happy to be here and you're adding tons of value already. And we still haven't spoken that much. We always just talk business but
I know, right?
Training stuff as well. Like I'm keen to talk more training with everybody.
Oh yeah. I could talk about training all day. Like I love training. I love the ATG system. I think I told you a little bit about my background. Like, so I was a hardcore power lifter in my 20s. And I got in Powerlifting USA a couple times, but I saw that all the guys older than me, they were all getting beat up. So I started getting into the mobility scene, and I did a couple seminars with Coach Summer, gymnastics bodies. So if you ask me how I train, it's really a hybrid between ATG for the lower body and upper body. I'm doing the gymnastic body stuff, working on planche, one arm chin up, front lever rows, and those sorts of things. But I really distilled my training down, like the gentleman was talking about earlier. I really distilled it down because I'm a busy guy. I have a kid, got the business now. I've got a job, so really I'm just focused on being consistent. That's the key.
Yep. So
I've distilled my training down to just the bare essentials, and I'm getting some of the best training sessions in my life right now. It's awesome.
I'm feeling that too. The 10,000 handstand push-up thing started as a bit of a joke, and then all of a sudden Fabian's planning to get it before the end of February, and it sort of seems inevitable now that some of us are going to hit this 10,000 handstand push-ups, and the flow-on effect is exciting to think about. So like the athletic component of what we're doing here, gentlemen, like it is a big part of this. It's something that makes it very authentic and very easy for people to relate to us. And the business side can be intimidating to those who aren't used to business, but the concept of developing yourself physically is something that's still there. We got Pulga. We got live footage from the village there in Mexico. Are you in the kitchen?
Yeah.
How you doing?
You're the guys.
Rocking out. That's the way.
Yeah, we are in our beautiful kitchen. Yeah, brother, this is like dreams comes true. I can believe it that it was when we met in May the 5th, and now we are running this project, all of us together. There are a lot of challenges that we need to beat, but we are learning with the circumstances, and we cannot be happier. Several players in this screen are coming to join us this year. Zach, Dylan, they are coming in the next months. So today we are going to do a sailing trip. We rent a boat for the whole day, and we are going to sail all the lagoon, the three of us. That will be amazing. We are going to create some content for the Instagram page about that adventure. We are going to visit the cenotes that we have in the lagoon, and tomorrow we are going to visit the Mayan ruins that they are just in the backyard, I can say. So like also to create content and to connect with the environment that we are living here. We are doing super fast progress in everything. Like we are moving fast, and it's also boosts me that we don't have limits for anything. Like just because of the village, it's like a time of chamber. So I am doing everything better, like in my personal life, in my personal business, and I am getting ideas about how to deal with the future. And yeah, I think the best is it's coming in the next months, in the next years. And we are also now we are starting to planning the Mexico version too, because we are ready for that. We are ready for everything. And
Yeah.
I also want to say like here, like thank you Keegan, because you opened me the eyes that this can be possible. You know, I remember that when you just text me and you asked me like, hey, do you know where I can build a village in Mexico? And I just said like, yeah, well, I have a land in the south of the Caribbean, and now we are here in a village, actually in a real village, getting
There you
shape.
go, guys. Just ask. That's how you get a village. Just ask. Hey, can you build us a village? And Jorge said, yeah, okay.
Yeah. So it's amazing. And welcome to the community camp. It's the best community in the world. There is Daniel De Pau, that it's also a really good player about talking about parenthood, that maybe you can connect with him and you will match like really, really good.
Yeah.
And Matthew, we need your soap here.
How do we get the soap to the Mexico village? Yeah, that's the
Yeah, we need
Yeah,
that.
well, yeah, we can aim for next year. I gotta stock up. I need my own inventory, but you got it.
Daniel Edimbongo is begging for your soap. He doesn't want to take a shower if it's not with your soap, brother.
I got you, my man.
So let's go. The bets is going to come, and all of you players are going to be really proud of our village and for your of your house. We are doing great. So looking forward to meet you here.
And you've worked on your training as well. You've been working hard on your physique, working with Giorgo. I was talking to him yesterday. Feeling better with the body as well, yeah?
Yeah, I am doing one-on-one with Georgios. I am learning a lot. That I was an intensity guy always. All my fitness journey was about the intensity, and right now I am starting my 4th week with Georgios, and I am just training volume, and I am killing it in the LCD group. I am in a really good shape right now. I already won like 3 kilos without winning fat, body weight fat, and I'm feeling better than all my fitness life. Hey, I can say that I didn't knew how it feels to don't have pain. Now that I don't have pain, I can feel how that does it feel. I get adaptation with pain, but now I am like I am wide open even more about this journey. So I am training daily also, because Georgios has the knowledge to guide me how to do it. And yeah, brothers, you need to push hard, because the next month I am going to be better even.
Yeah, the standards are rising, and that's a good thing. The standards are going up in business, the standards are going up in training. Like, we're pretty much 6 months into this. Most of you have been in the program less than 6 months, right? Some of you it's been longer, but most it's less than that. So imagine now the cumulative effect where this is going to be a few years from now. Like it took some time to organize what uncommon success is, and it's it is what it is. But now it's becoming very well established. It's becoming clear that, okay, at least a couple of times a year, I'm going to go to the villages. If you know you're going to go to the villages, then you know you want to turn up in shape, and you know, like, the standards are going to continue to rise on the leaderboards. So yeah, it's Jorge's making a beautiful thing there that makes it really easy for those in North America to get a face-to-face experience. We have Montenegro set up now in Europe, and I'm sure Portugal is going to happen in the next 12 months. I don't know why, but I just know that there's going to be something in Portugal in the next 12 months. And yeah, it's becoming more and more interesting, and it gives more meaning to the business as well, because it's like, yeah, I need my business to be organized so that I can travel and so that I can, you know, make the most of the opportunities and build your own village, whatever the thing is. Like, do you want to share a bit about how it's impacted your business? Because maybe some of the guys maybe don't know, you don't talk about that much, but you have a successful diet app, Macreros, an app in Spanish for helping people improve their body composition, but it's really like more holistic than when people think about macro dieting as well. Like you care about quality of foods, and it's not just calorie counting that you're teaching, right?
Yeah, like in the beginning, when I joined Oncom, I thought like I knew I was the macro expert guy. But then when I start to read the diet group and all the testimonials about fat carnivore, I switch my program. Like honestly, I switch it a lot. So now I am teaching my clients to eat more fat, essential fatty acids, and it's working really good. And yeah, it's more holistic because we have some rules like hydration rules, fruits, how many fruits you need to eat per day, the sleeping hours. I emulate the Oncom group. I did Macreros group, and then I am also doing the same, like leaderboards, who is in base shape. Like, so I am getting the best I can from the community to do it in my own business, and honestly, it's helping a lot. That my next step is that I need to translate the app to English, and because I want to put it in service for the coaches, for the Oncom coaches who wants to do the same kind of job, so they can use my app as a tool. And the other thing that I can say about my business, of how it's upgrading, it's because I think I am the example of my crew. So like I am the standards that they want to hit. So with the example, it's the best sailing tool that I have.
Yeah.
And I'm also, I learned in Oncom that, yeah, it's good to be happy, but it's not good to be satisfied. Never ever.
This is a good one. Thank you, Jorge. Yeah, being a product of your product is great, is so powerful. And how can you be a more authentic product of your product is a good question to ask. Like we were talking about before, asking yourself the question each day, how do I improve my business? How do I make more money? It doesn't make you a bad person. When you know you're going to build a village, when you know you've got good intentions in your heart of what you want to do with your life, or you want to bring up a family in a beautiful way, then it's good to be asking yourself the question of how do I make more money? But asking yourself that question also of how do I live my own product better is a key question to ask. And this is, you know, the villages now, we have this thing. Like it was just an idea when I started Uncommon Success. There was no villages. It was just like kind of an idea. And now you're seeing one here with Jorge, but they're all working to some degree. And yeah, like I'm always asking myself, how do I more authentically do what I'm saying? I'm constantly launching new products within Pro to show you how to launch products. Like that's the example that I'm setting is, look, like Discipline Action Brotherhood, it's a winning product. It could be $1 million business in itself. The Future Expander is a winning product in itself. The Lean Countdown Diet is a winning product in itself. Take what you need to and build winning products. And if you want to build physical products, you know, you're getting the example here from Matthew, you're getting the example here from Cam. Like take inspiration from the group, use what you can. If you sell Lean Countdown Diet as 5, 4, 3, 2, 1 fat loss, it doesn't negatively impact my experience of life. It impacts the world in a positive way. So we want you to use the IP, the knowledge, the ideas that you're getting, but yeah, use them first on yourself and to more fully embody what you're about. And the Bongo's put on a lot of muscle since we started working together earlier in the year, and yeah, his transformation is dramatic, that it encourages all others to also consider what could your physique look like. And I think like if he wants to productize that, he has the opportunity to productize that. Like we all have these examples, these stories. I don't know if I think Bongo's on another call, right?
Oh, no, he's in the YouTube live.
Right. I can't see the name. I can't see the name on the.
Eddie
How are you,
Bongo.
brother? You've just been from Montenegro and now you're in Mexico. Different flavor, but this was the dream. You're literally the dream client. It's like when I was your age, I just traveled lost alone around the world, spending all my money because couldn't find a good way to live. And you're now living, you lived in Montenegro and now you're living there with the crew in Mexico. Yeah, tell us about Mexico so far.
It's the most beautiful next step in the experience. It feels like so many people are going to say these types of things when they're almost asked to preach, and there's no way around expressing truthfully like what's happening in my life and what continues to happen feels like just a flow on from taking the challenges that Uncom has presented me. There, so many people are going to doubt like, how is using this app, or how is, I did a diet challenge my first, 20 days in Uncom. And I had no business doing that. Like you saw, like I was really small and I got leaner, I got skinnier. And I was like, I looked at that and I was proud. And then I said, I can do better, because I saw these other men who were super jacked and super lean. So it pushed me, right? And everything, the Uncom 25, showing up on calls, working on developing my own product, giving and offering value to others as like a core of like the things that Uncom wants to sort of make men do, develop value and then offer that value to others. All of the things that I'm experiencing as sort of benefits from now my life that I live, of getting to travel, of getting to work remotely, of experiencing love and training with great people, it comes from committing to the things that I didn't really see how they were going to benefit me in the short term. And this is like I'm in year 2 of Uncom. I'm halfway through my second year.
And you were working most of the time in your aquaponics project and kind of
I only had maybe 2 to 3 hours a day in the first year. Yeah. So
and he's doing macros now.
Okay. Yeah, he's looking good. I can see the back when he's standing there with the computer. It's good. Yeah, it's a good experience. Like I love that you're open to those experiences, man. Like you picked up kendama so fast, and you just keep taking on the new experience that's in front of you, like the rope flow and everything. It's really inspirational to see how much you just embrace it and see what comes of it. And I know you're thinking deeply about it all. It's not like you're not analyzing, but you're taking it on, maybe regardless of your best judgment or the analytical side of yourself. Like, it was pretty nuts to go to Montenegro straight after you finished that job with like no real certainty of what was coming next. But that then gave you the chance to fully dedicate yourself to meeting other players for a couple of months. And now you can see possibilities for your life. Like I thought, we're going to work more closely together, and we've done tons of work together, but like the truth of it is with Ndabongo and I asked for help, and Ndabongo has really good analysis of writing, and he was able to make sense of things that I was trying to express in words and help me with that in a way that very few people have been able to help me. And so like I asked him to continue to help, and he did on and off where he could in between his work with the aquaponics. And that led to me saying, like, if you're ever available to work more, like, please let me know. And so he came to Montenegro and worked, did a lot, for the product. But that also helped him get to a point where he's like, well, I can work for myself, and I can do something else. And I want to challenge myself on new levels. And I deeply respect that. But it hasn't been on either side, like Ndabongo's made very little money from working with and for Uncommon Success, and he hasn't paid too much either to engage in the network. But then the value exchange is crazy high. So this is an important lesson as well. It's like you'll be paid by the universe, be valuable, give value, receive value, and everything will work out. Like the money is secondary to the value and to the network. And for whether it's like talking about giving value within Uncommon Success, but also outside, like just how can I be more valuable? How can more people care and benefit from the knowledge that I have? And when you continually ask yourself that, like that's where the 10K up comes from. It's like maybe this is like maybe some people just need to get 10,000 push-ups, and that will be a catalyst for a new life. And we've been thinking more about how to give free value. And it's not necessarily easy to give free value in a way that works, but yeah, like you've embraced that and you're living that like more fully than I could have even pictured would happen, you know. Like you just embrace the idea of like, let's just go with value and see what happens. What do you see next? Like I know you're thinking about things, you're there in a new environment, you've had so many experiences in the last few months since you left South Africa. Like what are you thinking for the next season?
Jorge is definitely pushing me. The reason I start with that is because this is the natural thing that happens when you're around, others who've done things that you haven't done. He's, bringing me into this idea of like, just get it done. Like you have value, you have these things, and specifically around, the sleep and recovery expertise that I've developed through just life experience. Yep. And the people like Zach's on this call. Zach's one of the people that I've helped change the way that he sleeps and change the way that he recovers with less stress and less time input into that. Like it's not hard to get better at these things and to develop elite sleep skills, in my opinion, in the way that I coach it. And Jorge's like, so why haven't you written an ebook? Like, where's your app? Like, let's go. Let's take one day a week where you're focused on that thing and let's do it. And I'm like, fuck yeah.
Good. That's exciting. Chris Haupt actually wants to do a consult with you as well. He was on earlier today, but his sleep is a bit mixed, and he's looking for. I mentioned it to him. We spoke yesterday, so that'll be another good connection. Zach, you're looking jacked as well. You want to?
Yeah, Zach. Are you a macro guy or what?
Macro guy. I used to kind of when I started when I was like under 140 pounds, but yeah, no, but I've been loving this call. I've been really loving this call. All the way from Ben's. I joined right when Ben started sharing his experiences with how he's training recently and how he's training other people, and especially when seeing all this really encourages me. I'm about to make a cross country move to Florida. I posted my reflection the other day in the chat of being in this community really changed my life. Like I would never be moving to Florida to live with Max Hernandez, Andres, and Ruben, if I wasn't in this community. And just seeing especially Matthew talk about how he was once all in ATG and then kind of had his other interests in mind and really, had the courage to switch his whole persona online and actually just switch all of his efforts to going for something that, wasn't once a part of him and something completely new. That resonated with me a lot just because I've been a Konami player for so long. That's my online persona and a huge part of my identity for so long. But as I've gotten into this community in April, I've realized I'm more, and hearing Matthew's transition to something completely different and it's paid off a ton for him really makes me think okay, it's possible. I can do that too. And of course it's possible, but seeing these examples and seeing these, this stuff happen from eyes in this call and hearing about it really is make me feel okay, it's within my reach, it's not just a thought, I can reach for it and grab it. And I've been taking notes. I've been taking notes on this call too, some golden nuggets here and there. And obviously, of course, hearing about Mexico is super awesome because I'm really planning on going there soon. So yeah.
It's going to push the Spanish standards forward as well. When
100%.
Some stage Mexico is happening for me, then it's more meaningful.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
Very cool. And yeah, you don't have to know exactly what it all looks like. That's the thing of like just thinking about, okay, how do I bring more value? There's so much opportunity. You're in such a fertile environment. Like that's the thing. Like all seeds are designed to grow, but all seeds won't grow in all conditions. I think Ndabongo is the expert on this, right? Like there's certain conditions that are required for a thing to grow. And if the conditions aren't good enough, then you just get some kind of little weedy, demented thing that doesn't last very long. Like what we're creating here is a more fertile environment where ideas can grow, dreams can grow, products can grow, men can grow, biceps can grow, and it's working. Like that's the fun thing of it. And it's not me, because one person can't do this. Like it's far from something that one person can create, right? Like the dream was 1,000 men who are fully dedicated to being the best version, that they can be, with these values of actually getting rich as well as, athletic, as well as helping others to do the same thing. And learning like intellectual stuff along the way, like being a bit geeky about books and languages. And it probably doesn't seem like there would be that many men out there, but now it's becoming clearer that there probably is, and there probably are. So what would your ultimate ideal thing look like? I'm circling back to Zach here, of like, what did you wish existed when you found Kendama, or when you were 15, or when you were 18? And sometimes, often that's actually the best product. Is what's the challenge that you've most wanted to overcome? And the sports stuff was like a minor challenge for me. Like it was a significant challenge, but there was more challenge in how do I find a life of meaning? How do I build a culture that I want to be a part of? I was never a player in the rugby league. People would ask you when you walk out of the sheds, like, are you a player? And they'd be players would be signing autographs. I'd be like, no, I'm not a player, I'm on the staff. But I always felt like I really was an outsider in that world. Like it wasn't for me. So now I build a game where I'm part of it, and you can feel like you're part of something. That was the dream. And I can't see myself needing to create anything else. Like it's taken 20 years of trying to figure it out to get to this point where there's a game that I could see myself playing for the rest of my life. What if it didn't take you 20 years? You can sense there that Ben's living his thing. You can sense there that Jorge's living his thing, like more so than ever before. Like, what would it be if you were to create your ultimate solution? How do you take a step towards that? I don't know if anything comes to mind, Zach. I could see some cogs turning there and things.
Yeah. Well, actually, when you said that, I mean, I started thinking back when I was in high school even, and actually beginning to college. And what I thought of was, I guess, my mindset of when I joined this community. For me, the norm coming out of like being a college graduate is like all my peers were like, okay, here's the route, here's the route, finish, LinkedIn, apply, get job, But I know, like, throughout college, like, I guess what's really resonating with me right now is I wish I knew there was another route. And I mean, knowing that there's like this community that's pushing that, like, I guess what I'm trying to say is I wish I found this community sooner, but like also I wish the awareness of that, the things that we're working on in this, group in Uncom was like a thing that people actually work on, the reason why people, go towards, college and get degrees and go for these jobs, because that's a societal like norm of the route, but it's not the only way. And I know that because I know, school, like whatever, like I know I'm not the only one who didn't feel like I was served in my academic experience in higher education. I just felt like I had some decent experiences, but I mean, like, learning wise, and I feel like thinking about all the hours I spent doing homework that I don't care about, and thinking of if I put it towards like a business, or like even started thinking about this stuff, just even thinking about it was so foreign to me that I literally never thought about this stuff until like literally like a couple months ago, And I thought about the other day, I was talking to my brother, and we've been playing Konami for 11 and a half years, hours and hours spent, like many hours spent on it. I was like, honestly, Nick, like if we put 11 and a half years into business, we'd probably be like millionaires right now. Like that's actually just what it would be. Like Nick and I were talking like, yeah, like we could totally, like if we started doing this like way sooner, not when we're like 12, but like, or maybe 12, but just sooner, right? Like the awareness of this would be amazing, And I know I'm not the only one. If I feel like this, I know I'm not the only one who is in a situation where they know they want something different, but it's hard to get, but like it's battling like the norm of the normal path, you know. And some people do feel like this, and I've seen it. Some people do feel like this, and you know, because of their parents or pressures or whatever, or you know, they don't have a community, they don't have the, you know, vision of a sight of people doing what they want to like kind of do, that they just like, ah shit, like I know I'm gonna, you know, sell my soul for a couple of years and then travel later, or like sell my soul and just, you know, work here and just like a job I hate. Like I've literally had conversations with people about that. This guy was like, what are you doing? And this is the first time I told somebody, like, I actually want to make it on my own. And this was the first time I ever told somebody this, like in person. I was like, I want to make it on my own. I want to make my income like by myself, and I'll see where that goes. And he was like, oh my God, that's awesome. Yeah, I am gonna sell my soul for a couple years, and then I guess and then honestly, like, I'm gonna have to travel later. Like he like kind of laughed. And I'm like, and I like didn't laugh, and I was like, just thinking like, yeah, we and you are just two completely different. Like, like I don't know, like, but I mean, that's just the, you know, whether he wants to do that or not, I don't know. I wouldn't think so, but you know, just to know that these options are out here. This the awareness that this path is possible. It was made aware to me very recently. You know, so yeah.
Took me a long time as well, man. Like it wasn't so obvious to me at your age either. It was a lot of hardship to try and find a good life, find a life that was worth living. I kept moving on from things, and a lot of us have experienced that. But yeah, it makes me think about, you know, what could we teach school children? What could we teach people who are thinking about going to college? What could we teach college students? Because yeah, pro is a big commitment, but like TFE and things like that, our design is like, just consider this before you go to college, or just consider this, you know, as well as, because even if you do go to college, going there through the lens of I'm going to be entrepreneurial with this data is very different to going through it with the lens of I'm going to get a job that I fucking hate through this data. Like it's a different lens to see a degree through. And I know Liam and Justin have just been through this as well. So yeah, we need to solve something around this. You know, TFE came about quite quickly, quite recently, but some things along these lines of like, just test something else and just consider that there's other ways of doing things before you invest so much money and so many years and so much attention into something that you don't want to do or you hate, you know, sometimes.
And one more thing I'll say is like, even outside of that, of being the awareness, just I guess what it comes out to is like living like a fulfilling life. It's frightening how many people I've met through random jobs I've had in the past year, and like throughout college too, throughout my past 4 years, just like how many people I realize like actually don't do anything. Like they legitimately, like they literally don't do anything outside of like going to, you know, their obligatory like responsibility of like job or like random job or something like that. And it's just like, it's frightening because I've always had something like kendama to like have something there for me, which I'm literally lucky that I had an interest in that was so strong when I was super young. So I've always had it. You know, interest doesn't come like I can't force interest in something. It's just naturally getting to me. But just like having a fulfilling, you know, having something to fulfill you and is like step one. I feel like that's just step one to living like a life that's like worth living, honestly.
Yeah, something that you're mastering, and a physical athletic thing is a good place to start because it's very clear and tangible and honest, and then can help to go into the more abstract potentially. I think it's helped you to adapt to uncommon success faster. And the fact that you're young as well, like can happen much faster, I think, with a younger brain. No offense to those over 40, I'm in that club as well. But yeah, Liam, looks like are you stopped there for a little bit? Because I've seen you've been driving. It could be a good chance to have a word.
Yeah, I mean, I'll just on the way to Tesco's.
I see. Yeah, you had a big last few months. I'm sure you got a lot of thoughts coming through, listening to all this. You can share about the next few months, or you can share about, you know, the bigger concepts that we're touching on here.
Yeah, I mean, it's been weird because obviously I left uni, and I was like, I said a bit of this in my Q3 talk, but it was like I didn't want to do it. I always knew that I didn't want to do anything, and uni was like kind of like just I'll extend my education just so I don't have to go into a job for now. So I didn't really know what I wanted to do. And obviously with all my knee and stuff, that's where I can actually help people. And yeah, my goal right now is to get out of my parents' house because like you were talking about environment and everything like that, and that is like a big one. Coming back here, and it's like the only few people I see is my family and like my friends and stuff. They got bad habits. So I tried to get myself
Right.
into uncommon.
Let's buy a camper van. Seriously.
Yeah, yeah. I don't know when to give up Tesco, because I'm now making more from online income than I am from Tesco, but I've
Whose
reduced my
car are you
hours.
driving?
What car?
Yeah, is it a Tesco car, like to work car, or how does it work?
This right now is just my car. It's some shit like 2003 Fiesta, like. But I drive Tesco vans, yeah, when I'm out delivering.
Yeah, okay, yeah. So you drive to work in your own car, and then you drive their van around. I seriously though, and this is to the Americans as well, I want to buy camper vans and have an Uncom camper van that's just buzzing around, one around Europe, one around Australia, one around the US. But I mean, we could always do the UK as well. We've got a bunch of guys there. Like, what if you was just driving around and you work, you meet people, you go to the gyms. Like, it's kind of like the village experience, but you go and see the other players. Like, how good would that be? Like, to me, that's an experience that I would love to support others to have. So whenever you get a holiday, or if you're just a bit down, you just go jump in the car for for a couple of weeks, and whoever else is booked in to be in it. We need a little bit more critical mass of players, but like that's coming as well. And yeah, you could be selling your product as you go. You could be meeting up with soccer teams. Like, everyone could be helping you out with their network everywhere you go. So it would expand your network, your social media, your like credibility. Like, it's you can see how it could be really good for marketing and business in itself. Like, for Uncommon Success, it could be good because it's like you're part of that, but also whatever personal brands are in the car at the time, of someone who does reels and someone who does soccer and someone who does, this is, if anyone listening to this buys into this idea and wants to get started with it, let's make a plan. But yeah, I'm hijacking your time there, Liam. Like, what you're thinking about whether to move on. Like, set a number of clients, set a number. Like, it's good if you're making more than you're making from Tesco in your own business. You don't want to put yourself in a weak position now that you're in a strong position. Like, the energy of success is a powerful thing, and confidence. And I know that you're not going to go backwards, but it's good if let's put a little bit more pressure on yourself, or leverage yourself into a bit more success to know that you're like, I'm really good at this, rather than you move out of your parents' home, you quit your job, and like then it's like it becomes different all of a sudden. Like Ben was sort of touching on earlier, like it matters about how you feel about your business and how you feel about making sales, and we want to keep that really strong winning energy, if that makes sense.
Yeah, I mean, the reason I say it is because I've been reading Think and Grow Rich like every day for the last 3 months, and there's a story in there about how like they burnt the boats.
Yeah.
And like it was either win or die. And that's like my kind of mindset. It's like I don't have that thing where it's either win or die. So I know I'm not working as hard as I should be, even though I am doing loads and loads. It's like if I had that thing where it was just like, right, Tesco's is gone, I don't have anything to fall back on, I don't have a safety net, like, let's just go. Don't know if that would be a good idea or not.
I feel like you've given yourself that like 80%, and it's not 100%. You can give yourself that 100% if you want. I thought about it while I was in Latin America, of like, what if I broke my bank cards, and just lived on no money, because I was hitchhiking a lot and sleeping on floors. And I kind of fantasized about going 100%, free fall and see what happens. But I didn't do it. And I don't regret that I didn't do it. Like, I went to the edge enough to get what I needed out of that experience. And I didn't personally need to take that further. Some people need to hit like ultimate rock bottom or have like ultimate leverage, but it sounds like you're winning and you're in a good place. And like you're going to keep winning. So, you decide, but I wouldn't feel as though it's necessary that you burn the boats. Like maybe what's his name needed to do the Explorer to make sure they were going to survive in Mexico. It's getting into politics, but that's the story, right? Cortez. They say that Cortez is, and the Graham Hancock's books about that are phenomenal. If you haven't read Graham Hancock's stories about his depiction of what Mexico was like when Cortez and the men arrived, it's the best fiction. It's like some of my favorite fiction. But yeah, he burned the boats so his own men would fight to the death, because they knew that they were going to all die if they didn't burn the boats. and understand this is a sensitive topic, but I guess, Jorge, you've got roots on both sides as well, right? Like we all do that. The thing of racism is just ridiculous. It's because we all have such a mixture of things, but yeah, anyways, digression. Well done on the progress, Liam, and yeah, like that path that you're on is going to a good place.
Cheers.
You got the Tesco University as well. You can.
Yeah, exactly. I've been banging out audio books.
So Justin started with DoorDash, right? I had a conversation with Justin of like, you can't afford this. I understand that. But what about if we just go week to week and you do DoorDash so that you can afford to join this program? That was when I was in Bali. I was there with Nico in February. Justin was like, yeah, sweet, I can do DoorDash. I can solve this. Are you still doing DoorDash, Justin, or what's the reality?
No more DoorDash. I was at school. This was this year. I mean, it was February we had our call. Still playing college football. I was going through spring ball, and just joined ATG. I was like, I saw what you were doing, Keegan, and then I was just like, Uncom, seems like I like it. Want to, put my foot in the door, and then, you're like, yeah, you can do DoorDash on the week or at night or whatever it is, and started doing that. Wasn't an issue. And then as soon as I joined, I made that one video, hit 100,000 views, got like 50 leads, closed 3 of them, but it's okay. Learned my lesson. But then, actually one of those guys that I closed, he now just bought a year from me, which is great.
Oh.
Yeah, he actually lives like 20 minutes away from me. He brings me beef tallow all the time. He's like almost a friend now, which is kind of cool. But yeah, I mean, now made a lot of changes. Left school, still doing school. Don't want to do it. I think right now the motivation for me is just to get to a point where, one, I have a product that's sustainable, that is consistent, other than one-to-one. Not that one-to-one is bad. I just want a product that's sustainable so that I can make a bigger move and sort of go to my parents and say, look, this is going to work. I believe in it. There's other options. And I've explained that route to them, and it's just a matter of time for it to happen. So, because I made a lot of changes already, and building the product, putting a lot of time into like just doing all of it on my own takes a lot longer. But I think that, going to Florida, learning from everybody back in May, and then now going back for this other event is just gonna push me to get there a lot faster, and I know it will, just because connecting with guys that are in like the same realm, you work and you move so much faster. It's not even comparable. As soon as I got back home from Florida, I closed like my biggest client, and it took off again. And that's what I'm realizing, is just trying to be more involved. Because when I first joined Uncom, I kind of just joined, but I wasn't really connecting with anybody. And then I noticed the more I connect, the more ideas you talk about, even if you're just talking to your friend or whatever. Like me and Scar and Zach and Sam and even Jorge, I talked to a couple times, and just the more you talk, the faster you get things done, because your mind is on it, and that other people are working at it, and it's not competition. It's just like we're all going towards the same thing. And I think that sooner or later, I'd like to get out of Jersey. Don't know what the plan is, but I definitely want to travel and go to like some villages and that's future plans. The main goal is to have a sustainable product and get out of school officially. So
Yeah. So for the guys who don't know, like you're doing the college online. Was the compromise to leave being there in person, and you've been building your business on the side while doing college? You've been able to build your business. What's your best month so far?
best month has been around 4.5K. Been, pretty good. I think right now I've been training a lot of football guys, which has been great, and continuing to talk to more pro players, more NFLers, which is good. I just spoke to the Jets safety yesterday again, and I got a connection to, I don't know if you know Saquon. I'm sure you know Saquon. Yeah. So I got a connection to Saquon, to his videographer. So trying to build those relationships, because I talked to Ben as well about NFL guys and Clearfield. And Ben is going to hook me up with any guy from around this area reaches out, because I'm literally, for Jets and the Giants facility, I'm about 10 minutes away from, like, this location is about 10 minutes away from both areas.
Yeah.
So that's a good connection to have. But
you should tell him you'll get on a plane to get anywhere that an NFL player wants to get a session.
yeah, of course. I told Ben I'd do anything really.
Yeah. I'm catching up with him again next week, so I'll talk to him again as well. Like that, I know you're doing the work, like you're doing the work with your training, you're doing the work with business, professionally, you're developing yourself. So, yeah, opportunities are going to keep growing with where ATG is going and where you're going, and it's a beautiful thing. I see you taking on the handstand push-ups as well, which is not a natural thing for a football player.
It
stretches the comfort zone.
I guarantee. I mean, I'm not gonna guarantee, but like when I'm down there,
yeah,
it'll be my first one.
Yeah.
I mean, I might even get it today, honestly. Like it as soon as I try, it's just coming. The strength is fine. It's literally just the position balance, really.
Yeah.
So
you're getting really close, and seeing an old man doing. I did 75 yesterday, so
that's
it's like
amazing.
you gotta be able to get, and once you get a couple, then you'll get a bunch. But it's the same with all this though. Like that's the thing with the business side. It's just like the handstand push-up, where it's like, it seems like it'd be impossible. It's going to take ages. Have to be able to do a handstand. Have to be strong. It's like that with the business, that like you just keep building up the different components that it needs, and as they get better and better, then what once seemed crazy then becomes like, I'm doing 75. Starts with $75 a day, and then it starts, gets to $7,500, and that's the game. Is like all this stuff is expandable, and you're super young. Like seems like you're almost a little bit embarrassed that your best month is like $4.5 grand, whatever. Like you just quit college and you're making like a full-time adult wage within a few months in something that you didn't study at college, and you're doing it on your own time on the side while you're doing, while you're actually still completing your degree. Like
that's phenomenal. It's phenomenal.
Yeah. Needs to be said. Well said, Cam.
Yeah, I appreciate it. No, I mean, I think, I'd say like when you talk about sort of looking at things and being overwhelmed, when I first joined like ATG and Uncom, that was all it was. It was like, how do I, how is Nico doing this stuff? How is Scar at 100K followers? Like whatever it was. And like, really, it's just because right now I don't have anybody working for me. I can't pay for like, an editor, not yet. Like that's down the road. Hopefully that can happen. But like, just structure your day, work at it, everything else. Like, like I have my demos. I had to go through 300 demo videos, get all that done. And then you work on the Notion page, and then you work on, content, and then you work on, I got freak athlete equipment coming in I got to put together. So it's like, just structure it. I cut out little personal information, but broke up with the girlfriend about 3 weeks now. It was kind of a difficult situation. I couldn't stay together. So, but a lot more time on my end to just work on, stuff that I got to focus on. I think that I wasn't in a position to like continue to focus on it, at least having both of us be happy, because I was like so intensely focused on hitting goals, and like it was getting not sustainable at all. So it was tough, but I'm just
we know what you're talking about there, brother. Like all men have been through this on some level.
Yeah.
It's something we can talk more about when you're down here as well. Like it's a conversation to have more discussion about. Like, yeah, women can definitely be a superpower for business and for getting after it in life, but it's it can work the other way as well, depending on how things are going. And I think we've all experienced that at some stages.
Yeah, I mean, I'm only 20, so I can't look at it from the lens, I guess. Maybe like a 35-year-old married man could look at it, but it's like at least how much I've changed, like my lifestyle and everything, and how I guess I'm like an outlier to like majority of my family in the sense of like my diet and how I train and how I take care of myself, grounding, 8 hours of sleep, doing things that will help me. And I know I can tell that they're helping me. And like, it's almost like get annoyed. There's a big annoyance, like constant of just like, why are you doing things to help make yourself better? It's just, that's like that toxicity is the reason why I wanted to get out. I want to get out of here. Like I want to do other things. I want to show them that I can do this stuff. But the girl was something that I took for granted for a long time, and it kind of just ate away. And yeah, it's funny, Liam. But yeah, I mean, it's just interesting. I'm just learning life, I guess. So
we all are. I've learned more about women and relationships in the last 12, 24 months than I probably learned in the 12 years before that. So I don't have all the answers on everything, especially not in that category. I never spoke about it in any of my programs because I never felt like I had anything useful to share. But I have learned a bunch about it, and it is much better for me. And I think it is a good conversation that we start to have at some stage around. But yeah, as a 20-year-old man, like keep building yourself up and keep developing your skills in that area and developing your knowledge. But yeah, you got time, and getting away from home doesn't have to be running away from your parents, or you know what I mean. Like it's a positive thing to go out and see the world and do that, wanting to be a good representation of what your parents and your grandparents and ancestors have given you the opportunity for. It's a normal thing at that age to want to get some distance from your parents, and I did the same thing. I took off and saw the world at 21 and didn't really come back. I never really went back, to be honest. So I haven't hardly been back to the town that I grew up in. But I went back to my parents, years after that. Like it was partly breaking away from them. And I think it's important to have that thing of like, I'm my own man and I could survive. And for me, that was going to Latin America and, hitchhiking and learning Spanish. And I was like a rite of passage that I wanted to give myself, but you can do it in different ways and not, can enjoy it probably more and have better gains from it. But yeah, it's a good thing to do, and that your parents have done their best, and hopefully you get that chance one day. And yeah, it's the guys are all giving you the positivity there. We are getting pretty long here. I was thinking like 2 hours would be the max, but it would be cool to finish with your decisions here, gents, of like what is the focus here these next 3 months, something that you're really committed to. Could be on the athletic side, could be on the training side. If you would like to be in that accountability of every 5 days, check in what you did for the last 5 days, what you're doing for the next 5 days. That is the double or nothing chat. We're going to be having these calls once a fortnight to check in with each other about what we did, and let's see if the goal is that we have the best month, the best season ever, the best 3 months, and see what that tighter system or more engaged system, what results we can get from that. There certainly are other programs that use things along those lines that are getting some amazing results. So if you'd like to test that, really cool. I would also love to see drop in the chat here right now and paste it somewhere into your Notion that you can see what you're setting yourself up for in these in the season ahead. I would also, Justin, you should definitely connect with Ben Kelly and talk a bit more about his gym model. I'm not sure if you caught that part where we were talking about it, but you should consider elements of what Ben was talking about. I think it really fits where you're at with your business and the opportunity that you have there locally and your ambitions to go online. And also with Liam. Have you and Liam spoken yet?
I haven't. I've seen some of Liam's videos, but
you guys are like, you guys are going to get on very, very well, I think. And you should do a collab stuff. I think you got tons of good stuff. Like you're both going hard with the IG and going hard with the DMs. And honestly, like that was the thing with Ben and I and Lucas Aaron as well. Like the three of us just went hard together for a while. And that was, all of our stuff took off. Like we all grew, all our audiences grew. We ran events together. We collaborated on a lot of Instagram. We did a lot of podcasts. I know you've been doing that with Scar and Zach. But there's other opportunities here within the network where you find 5 other men who you can really run with, who are committed to doing something great. And it's a superpower, like sharing each other's audiences, sharing ideas. Great things can happen from that. So if those connections happen, that would be a great thing. If you already saw someone else in the chat that you want to connect with, like drop your link as well, and share what you're committing to. You can also commit to your dab hours with that. You can commit to a physical feat. Stating that stuff in front of people who are going to support you to do it is a powerful thing itself. I think, Tim, you're last one there. If anyone else wants to share anything as a closing remark, I'll open up for that in a minute. But Tim, you've been patient there over in Europe. I know that you've felt a little bit stuck inside of your role and where you're going and what you're doing. But what are you picking up there from today? Nice goal there, Pete. I like that.
Yeah, it's been pretty full on for me especially the last month. The school year's gone back. I'm in a new role, taking on a fair bit more responsibility, like an assistant house master. So I've got trying to help kids stay in school, ironically, and try and get the best out of what their situation. So that's pretty cool. Still coaching, started my level 3 hockey coaching as well. So still going along with that. The thing I'm sort of looking forward to working on personally is more like around sleep and like healthy habits and sleep habits and that sort of thing, especially for me. Working in a boarding environment where I don't have typically normal sleep patterns. If something happens, I've got to be up. I've got to be able to catch up on sleep. So it's quite important to me and how I also my mood throughout the day. So that's just doing more research into that before I actually roll out anything to like a program or anything. So it's more just building. The last month was sort of like my elevated pitch. So I've worked on that. So I've got that sort of down pat. And so we're just going with focusing on sleep, but also the school, because that is like my main job and that's my main priority. And I do enjoy it, but it takes up a large part of your life and it can become consuming if you're not focused and don't have outlets.
Yes, some other opportunities are going to come, man, and there are lots of opportunities around you. Making part of your research to consult with others and just ask them questions and just ask them what you've tried and what was valuable and that sort of thing. Like I would encourage you to move into that phase. with Chris helped, who's definitely focusing on sleep. Debongo's focusing on sleep. I'm not sure who else, if anyone else on the call now, is focused in on that area, then that would be cool. But you don't have to be the authority to start. Just be someone who asks questions and who's curious. And because most people who struggle with sleep are going to be happy to tell you about it and tell you about what they've tried and tell you about what hasn't worked and maybe what has worked. And the more you're having those conversations, like that is actually your copywriting and your product. They're telling you what it is by being someone who's curious to ask questions. And yeah, like even asking other players, like, what have you done that's enhanced your sleep, or how much of a priority is it? What's your current sleep routine? By putting those questions forward, like you'll learn, you'll become more of an expert.
Yeah, I've got that book. I got that, Pete, after our conversation.
Sebastian, do you want to be the last one in focus here? Is in the Montenegro village, all alone at the moment. There's going to be a lot of company there later in October, but you found your way back there after a few weeks.
Yeah, what should I just tell about the last
we've been talking about season 3 and season 4. It was quite a big philosophical discussion on lots of areas actually, but men were sharing sort of the focus for the time ahead and recent wins. Just share whatever's on your mind.
Yeah, I can share what's been going on. I joined Uncom just 3 months ago. What has happened since then? It's just been pure chaos, I guess. Been a lot of stuff going on. I guess I spent the whole month of August here in the Montenegro village, and that was an amazing experience. And then I kind of after that went back home thinking I was going to become a football player. And then that changed quite fast as well. And like now I just moved back to the village again. And yeah, it was kind of with the thought of just trying to figure something out around creating a business around diet and just figuring something out so that I can travel and help people and stuff. And now I just received a message from you earlier today. We wanted to at least have like a month test where I work for you and stuff. So yeah, I'm really happy with that. Thanks for that, by the way. So it's like it's just been like a continuous just grind of improving stuff and just trying to make the best of everything, and things have just been aligning, like opportunity after opportunity has just been arising, and I'm very happy with the last quarter.
Very good. What about, do you want to share anything about the village? Because you've seen quite a bit of change, even just from the start of August. Now you maybe walked the new roads and stuff where we're ready to put in like 20 new cabins now, but that didn't look possible at all before.
It's been quite a big change from the first time I arrived to now. Yubo showed me around the walk you said up in the forest, and I think it's going to be a great project. And I also think just Yubo has changed so much since I came as well. Like I think it was the first night I came at the village. Yubo, we had a conversation with Yubo where he said like I need the sugar and stuff. I don't know if you remember, but he said like I need the sugar. Like the body comes. No, what was it like? The soul comes before the body. Like the soul has to heal first, and then comes the body and the diet and stuff. And like now he's eating healthy, and he's just changed completely in that way as well, which is like, yeah, things have changed completely since. Yeah, well, it's two months since I arrived the first time.
Yeah, I'm really happy for him. Like even when we first met, sort of a year and a half ago, less than a year and a half ago, I first met Yubo and we started working on that project. He said then, okay, yeah, like soon I'm going to be ready. Soon I'm going to be ready to begin the health journey again. He's like 165 kilos or something. And before he's been pretty lean and healthy. But he's been saying soon and one day. And then, yeah, the last visit that I had there with him, we had a deep conversation. And he's like, okay, I'm going to go think about this. I'm going to go meditate. And then he wrote up his terms. And this is a really good thing. And I think this is what I want the second month to be about. TFE is about expanding the vision and expanding the frame of reference, which Sebastian's about to go through. The second month is then writing the terms of your life. So how do you live? What terms are you willing to live by? Because life on your own terms can sound like a fairy tale of like, yeah, I just get up when I want and I just do what I want and I eat what I want and like everything's for me, whatever I want. But that's actually hell. The heaven is when you say, well, this is what I'm going to do, and then you do it and you get the result and you're proud of it. So what would life on your own terms look like? You have to decide your terms. So Lyubor went and wrote down his terms, and he wanted to show me later on, but I had to go out. So the next day, just before I flew out of Montenegro, like the last time before I came here, and he showed me on a piece of paper that what he wrote and what he signed. And has he shown you that, Sebastian? Or
I saw the message in the group.
Yeah. Okay. It's beautiful. It's a beautiful thing to say, this is what I'm committed to. And I think this is something that we can bring across the network. But yeah, Lyubor committed to eating fish and salad, and meditating each day and walking. And yeah, I'm excited for him and for his family. You know, like his father passed away at a similar age to what he has now. And he has two beautiful daughters, and like we're all relying on him in a way. Like it's very important for the Uncom project Montenegro that he lives a long and prosperous life. And so to see that change in him is one of the really big wins of the last month and probably the last quarter. There's many, you know, like imagine for me, guys, like listening to this and seeing if you watch those Q3 reviews and stuff, like it's pretty crazy to think how good these changes, you know, how much stuff is going on. Thanks for jumping in, Liam. I know Liam's getting off to work there. We're just getting started, and there's so much, all the opportunity that you see, like you see what Uncommon Success can do and what Jorge can do, and what, you know, you look at others, and if you're listening back to the recording, like everything that's happening, you can do something what you want to do as well. Like you can do something even bigger than this. All the stuff that we're doing now is going to seem small in a few years from now, like 100%. Jorge's going to have like the most epic village in the south of Mexico. He's got massive land down there, and he's building a wave of people behind him. But what changed was Jorge's belief in himself and conversations and connections. And he jumped into, how many calls did you do in this last season, Jorge?
More than 200.
Yeah. It rewires the subconscious. It's crazy technology, but no one talks about things like this. But 200 calls, man, like that's massive commitment. And you think, well, yeah, it's smart business. Jorge, smart businessman. People are going to come to the village if they know Jorge. Like, but the benefit to Jorge is much, much bigger than what could ever be commercially. Like it's the soul changes, the mind changes, and it's a beautiful thing. And you think like, oh, how could I commit to 200 calls? But if you knew it was going to change your life and your future, like you would do that. John has just been through that. Fabian has just been through that, and all the guys who just went and I'm going to do lots of calls. They've had like really deep personal changes. I get to do this all the time. I've had the most calls out of everybody. I've got 1,400 or something, and that doesn't even count a lot of the other calls that I do outside of this network. Jorge.
Yeah, like guys, imagine like talking daily about cool stuff with you. With like every call, it's like talking in the same values, in the same goals, in the same things that we matter, that we like. So it's for sure that it's going to improve us, because then I am using my time in chats that are all of them are value. It's like mathematics. I have 24 hours in the day. So if I am using 5 days of these 24 hours in calls, it for sure is going to give me knowledge, revenues, and ideas, and all of these stuffs.
It's not obvious, because most people would think it's a waste of time, and it's possible in a way that's, you know, some calls are not as productive as others, but there's something powerful about it that no one's ever said anything like this to me, that this would be a solution to solving a lot of issues for men. But it seems, and you can see the Q3 reviews, like there's something deep that's happening with a simple process of engaging with other men, telling them what you're going to do, asking them what they're going to do. and we're all coming from this place of, you know, moving towards Mars. Like we've committed to these values or this direction, and it's a new concept. Like no one's doing it, and it seems a bit weird, but it's working. So if you want to accelerate, I would challenge you to commit a 4 or 5 hour block once a week and book as many calls into that block as you can. You know, you don't have to go as far as Jorge has done there, but it's very, very possible that something amazing happens. And as everyone levels up, all of those calls become more valuable. So any value you can give to another player, if or when, you know, Justin goes to the next level and his mailing list gets bigger and his marketing is bigger, that means everybody else has a bigger opportunity of like, well, what if I do a deal with Justin about X? That times 1,000 is a really, really, really powerful network. And each of us have like a vital role in the strength of the network. Jorge's playing a big role with all those calls, but then also setting up a physical location. That's impacting the psychology of all players. Maybe I'm going to go to the village at some stage. Definitely I'm going to go to the village at some stage. When you have that in your psychology, every day is different. You know that the test is coming. You know that the time of, okay, face-to-face is coming. Ben and Justin are about to come down to the event here in Florida on the 6th and 7th. These things of like being ready, it's a very, very powerful thing. And even if it's 12 months into the future or 2 years into the future that it's going to happen, it still changes every day along the way, as Sebastian was also sharing there as well. So yeah, I want to finish. Thank you so much for being part of this and the work that you're all doing individually. I know there's hurdles, I know there's challenges. It's not easy. You've got responsibilities, you've got other things. We're doing something very special here, and I want to encourage you to recognize the opportunity and leverage it the best way that you can. And I'm going to continue to do the same. If anyone has anything they want to share to finish up, you're more than welcome to. Otherwise, we finish here and I go play with my children. It's a beautiful day. I spend up all day from 5 o'clock this morning doing this, and then I've still got time to go out. I've been playing frisbee with my son. I hit him straight in the nose last night. I tried to tell him a few times, like, you got to put your hands up, boy, otherwise. And I hit him straight in the nose at 6. But this morning he came out. He's like, Dad, can we throw the frisbee again? And he had his hands up like this before he even and he started in the 10K app as well. Manu's in the 10K app. He did 36 chin-ups yesterday. He's getting pretty good form as well. He's 6 years old, and he's ticking off the reps in the 10K app. So this project in a lot of ways was created for him. Like, how do I create an environment that I want my son to grow up in, and men that I want him to be around, and your children, you know, that he's going to be around. So it's working. It's working. That's the fun. Thank you, man.
Appreciate it, Keegan.
Thank you, coach.
Nice one. Thank you.
Thanks, guys. See you later.
See you later, brothers.